What'd you like about third down that got better? What did you see that improved there?
Third down, started with the protection up front. I think the guys did a great job communicating, setting the protection plan, and then bringing it to life physically. And then we had some, really good individual winners, whether it was Bobo on the first third down conversion there, or the way Geno was working in rhythm with his feet, and then was able to a couple times convert 2 third downs, on the move right there. So overall, better day, more along the lines of what we're hoping for and what we're expecting on third down, and now we got to keep working to keep that consistency up game in and game out.
And this is not an easy defense to do that. I guess number one in the league. What do they do so well on third down?
Yeah, I think for them it starts with the rush, and really their first, second, third down plan, it starts with the rush. Coach Schwartz does such a good job everywhere he's been. That defensive line is rolling off the ball, and they're creating havoc, they're creating chaos. Then, starting with Garrett with great players, added into that. So it starts up front, and then they do a good job on the second and third level of playing sticky coverage throughout, and then mixing and matching like everyone does throughout the league. So for us, having great communication, being in great time and rhythm in the passing game on those third down scenarios, it starts there, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
They make it pretty hard to know sometimes where Garrett is, right? I mean, don't they move him around quite a bit?
Yeah, they do a nice job. They mix it up a little bit. He lines up on the left side a lot, but then he'll also line up, walking around as that floater. He'll line up on the right side several times throughout the course of each game. So they do a good job of moving him around, and he does a good job of really not being better at one side or the other. He can rush wherever he needs to rush and created havoc this past game, and that's really his strong suit.
The chess match that happens in the red zone, we've talked about this a couple of times, but what's the balance that you're trying to get when the defense knows exactly what you're trying to do? So what's the chess match in creating those play calls down there?
Yeah, I think, for us in the red zone, we had a scenario in Carolina that was similar to this past week that worked out one way. This week, we didn't get into the end zone there in the low red zone running the ball. We know it's always going to start with the run game, though, in the red zone, and being able to have those positive runs, being able to set the front and have those O-linemen and tight ends setting their pads in the goal line situations, and then playing off with good complementary plays from there where, like I said, I'll continue to do a better job of getting our guys in good positions when those scenarios come up. But, it's just overall execution, just like we talked about the week before, not having to go outside the framework and make something new up from a technique standpoint or the way we feel about our complementary plays in the red zone, but also executing at a high level like we do on first and second down, leading those drives into the scoring zone, and then finishing and obviously eliminating turnovers every time we get down there.
Well, and what was the effect of not having Zach available in the run game last week?
Yeah, I think Ken did a great job of taking the bulk of the carries there in the game and was playing hard, was playing physical throughout the course of all 4 quarters. And so we would love to have Zach back. Anytime we're missing any of our guys, it's going to be a help to have him out there. But I thought the guys did a good job picking up the slack, and especially with the way Ken's running style was. And like I said, even going back to the next run after we don't get in there in the red zone, the way he's able to finish on the second level with his pads down and really setting a tone, and then as we were able to run the ball in that fourth quarter to eat up some clock and carry out the game the way it needed to finish.
How did your calls change, or what different considerations were there without Metcalf there?
Yeah, I think without DK there, the other guys did a great job of stepping up with Jake Bobo and Jackson there stepping up and making some big plays. And then, let's not forget about Tyler just being Mr. Consistency out there and getting open. So in terms of the calls, maybe not the calls changing too much there, but knowing, just being able to move guys around and put guys like we do every week, whether DK's, up or not, trying to put them in their best position for success in roles that they can accelerate in.
What did you think of Geno's overall game?
Yeah, I think overall, Geno's doing a good job, and he knows the taking care of the ball, that's always going to be paramount in our program here, and week in and week out, we're going to keep harping on it and keep doing a great job of talking about the different scenarios where we can do a better job because, it's the ifs and buts. If you take the couple turnovers away from the game, he's playing at a high level right now, and so just continue to keep focusing on the positives, learning from any of the negatives that happen in the game and keep doing what he's doing.
What should he and Jake have done differently on the interception, though?
I think when it comes down to those split-second decisions in the red zone, where we roll out to the left there and the initial part of the play is not open and they're working off schedule. If you feel that void and you feel a good open window there, like you thought he had, making a good safe throw, and then if it gets a little blurry there, every now and then it's all right to end in a kick over an interception any day of the week. So trusting every now and then to throw it away, and I think that'll make those kind of blurry plays, end in a positive positive, not in negative right there.
Geno shouted out Carey after the Jackson touchdown. How common is it for some of your assistants to diagram up stuff that runs?
Yeah, we're all in this together. So, Carey did a great job on that play as far as from a play design, and then you got him and Coach McPherson. We run that rep out here on the practice field. These guys are just tweaking a little element to it, gaining the players' trust in the play and how it's going to come to life, and then we get out to a game rep and it plays out just the way you practice it. And those are always the great moments from a coaching staff. But it's like that with every play that we look at. It's a group effort. Everyone has their input. Everyone has their ideas. And I have the benefit of being able to call it, but everyone's in this together. And so week in and week out, the whole staff is coming up with different great ideas and plays that are leading to touchdowns. So I'm thankful for them. And this week, with Carey, Joseph, and that play design there for Jackson, it was a cool thing to see come to light.
We've talked about the benefit of some of the veterans on defense, what Jaron Reed has done, Bobby Wagner, now Frank Clark. But what do those guys do for the offense when you have to practice against them, or maybe they're just helping guys with what they see or what they can expect?
Yeah, I think our defense does such a great job of raising the level of competition every single day. We come out and we do our competitive periods, whether it's the ones-on-ones or even when it's the look team stuff, and the guys are going. Like, our D-line is relentless, starting with Jaron and with Bobby's leadership right there. So those guys make us have to come to work every single day, and like our guys do, they match the competitive level of the defensive line, the linebackers, the defensive backs. And so our goal is to make every one of these practices harder than the games. And I think the players on defense really uphold that standard, and it makes us work hard day in and day out. And so I appreciate every single time that they're, they might be running down 40 yards down the field after the play's, technically blown dead from a whistle, but they're running and punching at the ball and making the ball carriers work at the ball security. And, all that stuff helps us as a team to be better.
How can Jason Peters help you if this is the week that he plays?
Yeah, I think, again, with Jason, from a physical standpoint, looking great. He's ready to roll there whenever that time comes. But I think just he's got a great calming presence, great leadership ability. Only here, it's still a short period of time that he's been around the program, but he just has a natural way about him of leading the offensive line. Guys want to gravitate towards him, ask him for tips and hey, what do you see here? How could I be better on this set or on this run block here? And I think you translate that into game action, and it provides another calming veteran leadership role up front in the huddle and then on the field.
You hear any pushback from your receiver room when you call 23 personnel in the game?
I think the tight ends want it to be 05 personnel every snap. The running backs want it to be 5-0. The receivers want it to be 0-1 or whatever they can get out there. So, no, those guys they have fun with it too, because we do mix and match some personnels. And the cool part about ours, we got a lot of good players, a lot of guys that have earned the right to be out there and have plays for them. And I do appreciate the selflessness of a lot of our guys, knowing that sometimes they're out there doing the dirty work so that their teammate can succeed, and they do it with a great attitude and great support of each other.
I think, unless I'm mistaken, you've had a couple plays where you've had DJ and Ken on the field at the same time. Mm-hmm. What do you like about that personnel?
Again, I just think being able to mix and match different personnel groups throughout the course of the game to try to put our players in the best positions of things that they might do well. I think anytime you get the two backs out on the field at the same time, especially with our guys where they have the ability to run with the ball or run routes as receivers, it just provides one more level of depth to our offense, just like our 13 personnel or our 11 personnel, 12 personnel packages. Like I said, providing depth and providing opportunities for a lot of deserving guys to be out there and earn playing time out on the field.
How did Olu do?
Olu did a great job. Again, for him and Anthony Bradford, you got two rookies starting up front, and at this point in the year, there's no longer rookies. They're well into a end of the college season if they've counted their preseason reps right there. So Olu did a great job of communicating, setting the fronts, working his butt off and playing with great effort. So it was a good seamless transition. And anytime our starters are out, can't wait to get those guys back. But we're lucky enough to have some backups that are getting some good quality reps and playing at a high level.
Clint Hurt went upstairs. What do you consider and where you call from?
Yeah, I think
a season by season thing. Or
yeah, it's been season by season, and I think different seasons might put guys in upstairs or downstairs. For me personally, and for our offense as an offensive staff, we've talked about this, and there's different levels, and for us, just strictly from an offensive standpoint, the ability to communicate with the quarterback, in between every series or in between timeouts, we weigh the good and the bad of being upstairs, downstairs, and that was a positive for us as well as for myself to be able to get around to the different positions, on the field. But there's, every style's worked and every guy's had different things, but we've looked at that each year and said, what's the pros and the cons, and then go into each season thinking, okay, this is the best way for us to do it as an offensive staff this year.
What do you get out of the face-to-face between drives as opposed to if you were upstairs?
Yeah, I think the face-to-face, just the instant feedback there rather than the level of communication through a phone call right there with the quarterback. And I think there's a positive for me in that regard. And then, like I mentioned too, from the quarterback standpoint, the ability to be able to communicate, on the field between timeouts or in between quarter scenarios there has been a beneficial thing.
Anything else? Thanks, Shane.
Good. All right. Thank you.